start this afternoon's top stories. U.S. government applauds PPA signing to explore geothermal in Nevis, another cocaine swallower busted in Guyana, and the search for Paris suspects continues. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Thursday, November 26, 2015. I am J.D. Keynes. In national news, the United States Department of State has applauded the recent signing of a power purchase agreement, or PPA, between the consortium Nevis Renewable Energy International NREI and the Nevis Electricity Company Limited to develop geothermal resources. This comes in light of a joint press release from the NIA, NEVLEC and NREI, which states that the agreement, quote, provides for 25 years of a domestic base load renewable energy supply from geothermal resources located on the island of Nevis, end quote. The release further states that the first phase will, quote, supply 9 megawatts of power that is immediately expandable to meet the ongoing power needs of Nevis and capable of exporting 40 megawatts to 50 megawatts of additional power to neighboring islands, end quote. In response, the U.S. government has praised the project, reminding that, quote, over the past 2 years, the Department of State's Bureau of Energy Resources has provided technical assistance to the Nevis Island Administration and the Nevis Electricity Company that has ultimately resulted in the signing of this PPA, end quote. That release further states that the United States government, through its Caribbean Energy Security Initiative, aims to accelerate the diversification of Caribbean energy systems through support for improved governance, increased access to finance, and enhanced donor coordination. Our cameras are at the opening session of the 2015 Dry Season Caribbean Regional Climate Outlook Forum, or CARICOF meeting, which is being held at the Marriott Resort. Officials from across the Caribbean are meeting in St. Kitts for the CARICOF meeting, as well as training sessions for Caribbean meteorologists focusing on climate change. The opening ceremony was expected to include presentations by Brenda Boncamper, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Posts, Urban Development and Transport, and an official from the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology, CHMH. According to a media release, St. Kitts and Nevis was chosen as host because the Federation was identified as one of the drought-prone countries in the region. On Tuesday, the first Vietnam ambassador to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Duong Minh, paid a courtesy call on Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Amoy. The ambassador was accompanied by Minister Councillor Duan Hai Hong. Speaking to the NIA's Department of Information, Amoy described the meeting as fruitful, noting that they exchanged ideas on how St. Kitts and Nevis could benefit from Vietnam and how the countries could mutually benefit and strengthen their relations. According to the Premier, they discussed areas of cooperation in tourism, technology development, education, agriculture, and opportunities for investment in business. Meantime, Ambassador Ming, who had presented his credentials to Governor General His Excellency S.W. Tapley Seaton CVO QC JP, one day before in Bastia, expressed satisfaction with his discussions with Premier Amoy. According to the ambassador, Vietnam and St. Kitts and Nevis are developing countries, and even though they are geographically far apart, they have many similarities which could provide opportunities for cooperation. He said the opportunity exists for the creation of direct trade relations.
Studies have shown that Christmas advertising for businesses can generate above average revenues. This holiday season, ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation wants to help you reach potential customers and increase your revenues. Whether you're a small, medium, or large business, ZIZ Broadcasting has designed a consolidated advertising package with you in mind on ZIZ Radio, television, ZIZ Online, and Big Wave FM 96.7. This holiday season, let ZIZ Broadcasting help you make the connection with potential customers. With deals starting as low as $351. Call our sales team at 465-2621 and let us help you reach your goal. More traffic, more sales, more revenue.
And now for the regional news. A father of 4 has been sent to prison and fined $2.5 million after he was busted with close to 2 pounds of cocaine pellets in his body at the Cheddi Jagan International Airport. Details in this report.
Drug mule Johan Joaquin was today sentenced to 4 years in prison and fined $2.5 million for 834 grams of cocaine. Joaquin appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Magistrate Fabio Azor, where he pleaded guilty to the charge. The father of 4 was busted by ranks of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit on Sunday at the Cheddi Jagan International Airport. He was an outgoing passenger on Caribbean Airlines heading to the United States. Joaquin, who hails from Pleasance, was taken to the Woodlands Hospital where he passed out 75 pellets. The pellets, which were tested positive for cocaine, amounted to nearly 2 pounds and carried a street value of $2.5 million. On Sunday also, Kanu Ranks busted a St. Lucian national at the airport who had also ingested a quantity of cocaine in pellets. The man was said to be heading to London when the bust was made. Charges have not been laid yet against him as investigations are ongoing. In the last few weeks, several persons were caught as they were trying to smuggle cocaine out of the country. Reporting for Capital News, Ifa Wharton.
As rape becomes a growing problem in St. Lucia, there are calls for the identities of rapists to be publicized. More in this report from Sarah Peter.
Calls for the identities of accused rapists to be revealed have gotten louder in the face of an increase in rape cases dominating the headlines. Concerns have surfaced that a serial rapist may be responsible. However, this has not been supported by police. While Acting Assistant Police Commissioner Milton Daisy acknowledges a need to protect potential rape victims, he is adamant that legislation dictates that the identities of accused rapists not be divulged.
We have to go according to the law. The criminal code specifies that in section 136 that hearing for any sexual related offense has to be in camera, that is what is privately. In the absence of the public. And once it is in camera, you cannot have the identity, and that is for the purpose. You cannot have the identity of either the complainant or the victim or the accused person identified.
Daisy has warned members of the public that if they are responsible for revealing the identities of accused rapists, they can be punished.
It's not how we feel, it's what the law says. And in fact, there is a penalty for persons who fail to comply with it. For example, if you were to reproduce any evidence, anything that is likely to be evidence, the identities of these persons without the authority of the court, then it is an offense. And actually under section 138, it says that that person is guilty of the offense and may be convicted up to $50,000 and imprisonment for 3 years.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has indicated that it will set up a unit within the force specifically to deal with sexual assault cases. For the DBS News World, I am Sarah Peter.
Internationally, police across Europe are still searching for a pair of suspects from the Paris terror attacks. According to reports, they were tracked across the border into Belgium. Deborah Pata reports.
This is the new reality in Brussels. Shops, schools and subways may have reopened, but security checks are now a constant feature of daily life here. Even hospitals are feeling the tension. The Belgian government has ordered health and emergency services to take special precautionary measures to ensure their facilities are not infiltrated. The tight security has been sparked by Belgium's ongoing attempts to root out a terror cell they believe is plotting Paris-like attacks in Brussels. The aftermath of those attacks is still being felt. The manhunt for 2 of those Paris suspects, Salah Abdeslam and Mohamed Abrini, also continues in Belgium. It's now emerged that a month prior to the Paris attacks, the mayor of Molenbeek received a list of 80 suspected Islamic militants. On that list were the names of the Abdeslam brothers, Abrini, and the suspected ringleader of the attack, Abdelhamid Abaoud.
Belgium's Molenbeek neighborhood has gained a reputation as a jihadi hotbed, but its mayor, Francois Skepmans, said it is not her job to hunt down terrorists. It is the responsibility of police.
In more international news, the Pope continues his first trip to Africa after arriving on Wednesday. He met with priests at St. Mary's School in Kenya today, Thursday, and delivered Mass at the University of Nairobi. The Pope will visit two other countries, Uganda and the Central African Republic. Alan Pizzi reports from Nairobi.
There was a proper and rollicking African welcome to kick off the first public engagement of Pope Francis' first ever African trip. Dancing children led the procession of bishops who preceded him to the specially built altar. The theme of this stop on his three-nation pilgrimage is, "Be strong in faith, do not be afraid." It took a fair bit of strength for tens of thousands of faithful to make their way into a field for the Mass at Nairobi University that persistent rain turned into a quagmire. But rain is seen as a blessing here, and no one seemed to mind in the least. Police and army were on hand in considerable number, but guns were conspicuous by their scarcity, in spite of the fact that there is concern Francis could be in danger from Islamist radicals. There have been several bloody attacks here, including the massacre of students at a university and the 2013 shooting in a mall that left 67 dead, both carried out by the Al-Qaeda affiliate Al-Shabaab that is based in neighboring Somalia. Francis called them barbarous and said that God's name must never be used to justify hatred and violence. All too often, he told an interreligious gathering, young people are being radicalized in the name of religion to sow discord and fear and to tear at the very fabric of our societies. The Mass was aimed in part at young people, and Francis urged them to let what he called the great values of Africa's traditions help them shape a society which is ever more just, inclusive, and respectful